Welcome to Biology at Woodland Community College for the summer course online. So what I'd like to do is this is your introductory video, and I just want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Rogers, and my last name used to be Touchman, so if you know me by that name, I changed my last name to Rogers. And I've been teaching at Woodland Community College for a long time, since 2012, and I've taught all sorts of different biology classes there. And so this is the online version of BIO10. So welcome. And so what I'd like to do in this video is to introduce you to the course and show you around in the Canvas course and just give you an overview of what you're going to be doing this summer. So like I said in the email that you probably got, because you're here watching the video, is that this is an 8-week course. And so it is condensed from an 18-week course. And so there's a lot to do every week. And so as you probably know, summer courses are more intense, and you should be prepared to put in some honest time and effort to get this course done and to do well in the course. The nice thing is that it's online, and so that means that it can work around any kind of schedule that you have. Like if you're working, then you can just do this on your own time, like in the evening. But I suggest that you make sure you put in time and space to get this done. So it's nice to have a nice work area, and it's good to have some dedicated blocks of time to get it done. So let me introduce you to the class. Okay, so I'm in Canvas right now, and so all the assignments are in Canvas. And so if you go to your dashboard, the class is called BIO10, General Biology, and once you click on the tile, you're going to come to the home page, which looks like this. And so at the very top, there's going to be a welcome letter, a link to the welcome letter, which you should have gotten in your email. And then there's a video, which is this video right now. And then there's information here. Okay, so let me just show you around. So there's some information here talking about all the weeks are organized in this link over to the left here called modules. So if you click on modules, you can see all the information per week, and you can just kind of get an overview of what you're going to have to be doing over the week. And then you can manage your time accordingly. Or you can press this start button. So that's going to take you right into the modules, and you can see all the work that you need to do. Also, I have cut and pasted a picture of the schedule. So you can just, again, organize your time. And so, like I said, this is an 8-week course. And so each day there are things that you should be doing. I've organized it Monday through Thursday because that's usually what we do in the in-person class is we meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then you get all the work done that way. But some of the assignments are due by Friday, so that gives you an extra day in case you need it. And then the labs are always due by Sunday, okay? So, and this is just an outline of all the different topics and what assignments are going to be due that week. So here's a picture of me, Dr. Rogers, like I said. The best way to communicate with me is through email. The best email to use is the Canvas email. Because that links up to my school email and my personal email. And so I have my phone with me most of the time, and so I'll get it right away. And also then it protects your email address too, if you're using your personal email address. So, email me through Canvas. I check that all day. If you email me through the school, that's no problem too, but I usually check that once or twice a day. And so it's not an all day thing. And so if I miss you, then it might not be till the next day that I see it. Another thing is that here is a link for a video meeting. So if you are having trouble with any topics and you need to meet with me, send me an email, and then we'll arrange a time, and then we can do a video meeting one-on-one. Okay. And I do this all the time. It's no big deal. I'm usually very flexible, especially in the summertime. And so we can just arrange a time when it's good for you. We can just clear up some topics, and that's that. Okay, also what I've provided at the bottom of the page here is the course syllabus, which we're going to be going over, and important dates for the summer. So it's just when you have to decide to stay in the class or drop and things like that. Okay, so let me just click over here to the modules page. So see on the left here, it says modules. If you click there, So I'm looking at this in the teacher view. So it looks different when the student view, but I have to show it in the teacher view because nothing's published yet. And so the student view is not going to show anything right now. So there is this section called class orientation. I highly recommend you go through all of this before you even start the class, just so you can get an idea of like the background. And this will help you with all the parts of this class. So there are just some information here. Look through that before you start. One thing is that this video has a quiz. So this is the quiz 1, introduction. So based on this video that you're watching right now, there's going to be a quiz that's going to be like your first assignment. Another thing that I need you to do is this second assignment, which is called Letter to the Professor. I need you to write me a letter telling me about yourself, and that way I can get to know you that way. One of the unfortunate things about taking an online class is that I'm not able to like form a relationship with my students because I don't really get to see you. And so this is like one of the few ways that I actually can get to know you. And then here is an academic calendar with some important dates. Okay. In this class, at the very last day, which is July 31st, you are going to be taking a final exam, which is going to cover all the topics you learned throughout the summer. And then also you're going to be submitting a research paper. And so I'm just telling you about the research paper on day 1 because I need you to start thinking about what you want to write about and start, thinking about it and researching and writing. It's not something you can do in just one day. So I just want to introduce this project like up front so you can start thinking about it. If you click on this topic list, you get to choose one of the topics that you want to do research on. And then if you click on this research paper, it tells you in detail what I expect. Okay. I'm not going to go through that right now because there's just a lot to go over. But just heads up, this is going to be due the last day of class. You don't want to put it off because there's a lot of work every week and you'll be overwhelmed if you put it off to the very last week. Okay, so here's week 1. This is the week that we are in. Like I said, we are condensing a long semester class into a short little summer. And so there's a lot of work to do every week. And so I highly recommend that you break down each day the way I have in the syllabus so that you don't get overwhelmed. All the due dates are in the assignment so you can see when they're due. All the quizzes are due on Friday. There's also this STEM scientist that you're going to read about and you're going to write about. That's also due on Fridays. The labs, however, are not due until Sunday. And lastly, there is a discussion that you're going to be a part of. So you guys are going to be grouped into groups of 3. You're going to read a prompt, write a comment on the prompt, and then you're going to respond to your group members. Okay, I'll talk about that in a minute. So as you go through week 1, Introduction to Biology is the first unit. And so week 1, the first unit is covered in the first week. So week 1 objective, you click on that, it'll tell you the objectives for the week specifically, and then you're going to start the course. And so you click on this, there's always a lecture video like you're watching right now, and there's text from the textbook. Okay, so for every topic, there's going to be a video and text. You should watch the video, take notes, and read the text. Okay, then you're going to do quiz number 2. Quiz number 1 is about this video that you're watching. Quiz number 2 is going to be about the scientific method video. So you're going to do that. It's due a Friday. Then you're going to do a lab. This lab involves you doing an experiment at home. So I highly recommend you open this up today, because you're going to need to put together some materials and you're going to have to collect some data throughout the week. And so you need a few days to do this experiment. So open it up today, set up the experiment, start collecting data. Okay, so then by Sunday, you'll have some data that you can report. Okay, then this next one, Girat Vermeer. This is a scientist. And so each week there's a scientist that is highlighted. And I'm just introducing you to a wide variety of scientists and what they've contributed to science. And so you're going to learn about him. And then you're going to write a little like a little reading response on him. So read about him. If you want to learn more about him, here's some links in here. This is an assignment called STEM Inspirations, due by Friday. And you're just going to write about like what he did and then what are your opinions about him. Okay, then the next topic for this week is graphing. So again, you're going to watch a video, you're going to read some text, then you're going to do the quiz, due by Friday. Then there's another topic, measuring. So again, you're going to click on there, you're going to watch a video, do some reading, and then take a quiz. Then there's another lab, which is called measuring. This lab also has you doing some things around the house. Most of the time, the labs are not going to have you do like things from around the house, but this week you are. In the following weeks, there's usually going to be a situation where I give you the data and you have to analyze the data or things like that. Or you're going to be doing some like thinking, like thought experiments. But this week is very heavy on doing stuff at home. And then lastly, all the weeks end with a discussion. And so this way you can interact with your classmates. And so you're going to click on that week one discussion. There's a prompt. You need to respond to the prompt by Friday. And then by Sunday, you need to give feedback to your 2 other group members. Every group has 3 students. Okay, so that's this week. There's a lot. And so what I want to do before I let you go is I want to go over the syllabus. So if you got this in the email, you've probably already looked it over, but I just want to go over it with you. Okay, so this is BIO10, is general biology, and it's a lecture and lab. You get lecture and lab credit. And so there is lectures that you listen to with quizzes and then labs that you're going to have to participate in. My name is Dr. Stephanie Rogers. Here is my school email, or you can email me through Canvas. Or you can email me through my personal email, okay, which I provided in the homepage of Canvas. I'm going to check emails all week long. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you have any questions, please just reach out. I am available, all the time. I'm here for you. Okay, office hours. I don't have office hours, but I am willing to meet you at any time at your convenience through video chatting. Okay, this is online format. This is 8 weeks long. It ends July 31st, not August 31st. That's a typo. And each class goes from Monday to Sunday. Okay, so each class opens up Monday at midnight, and then you have all the way until Sunday to get everything in. Some assignments are due Friday, some assignments are due Sunday. Check the due dates in the Canvas assignment so you know when they're due. Okay, what you're going to need for this course, you are going to need a computer. And all the course material is going to be in Canvas. And Canvas works best on Google Chrome. And please contact me if you don't have a computer or a device or internet. Okay, contact me immediately, and then we'll hook you up through Woodland Community College. This is the website to Canvas. You're going to need a notebook for this class. You're going to take notes every time you watch a lecture. And all your online quizzes are open note. The textbook is optional. The text that I get the material from is called Campbell Essential Biology. And it is up to you whether you get the textbook or not. Some people like to have a hard copy that they can actually read. I cut and pasted all the text for you in Canvas so that you don't have to purchase a textbook because they are expensive. And so it is up to you whether you buy it or not. Okay, the text is there for you for free. If you like to have the book, get the book. Okay, so this course description, this is a general introductory course, and it's all the topics of biology. Biology is a huge subject, and it goes from little teeny tiny organisms to the whole earth and all the things that are connected in earth. And then so here are the student learning outcomes. These are the things that you need to learn by the time you leave the class. You need to be able to describe the scientific method, and you're going to design and carry out an experiment. That's what we're going to be doing this week. That's going to include formulating a hypothesis, collecting, analyzing data, proposing a conclusion, and communicating them in proper scientific format. Number 2 is describe and correlate cell structure and function, especially as it relates to metabolism, energy conversions, and reproductions, cell cycle, mitosis, meiosis. We're going to go through that. The third thing is we're given a genetics problem. You're going to have to be able to explain and apply the principles of transmission and molecular genetics, so heredity. And you're going to learn about DNA replication, protein synthesis, which includes transcription and translation. The fourth thing is you're going to describe and correlate the structure and function of organs and organ systems in animals. And the last one is you're going to describe and correctly apply the theory of evolution by natural selection by explaining adaptation, biological unity, and diversity. So those are kind of the whole range of what we're going to be covering in this class. Okay, this class has 6 different types of assignments that you are responsible for doing. The first one is the introduction assignment, which I talked to you about earlier, which is the letter that you're writing to me. Okay, this is very important because this is how I know that you are here and you are taking this class. If you don't do the introduction assignment, I'm going to assume that you're not going to take the class, you haven't reached, all the assignments. And so what happens is you're going to be dropped from the course because I'm just going to assume that you're not interested in taking the class. So introduction assignment does two things. One, it checks you into the class, and two, it helps me get to know you, which is very important for me. Okay, the second thing is online quizzes. Every single lecture video and text is going to have a corresponding online quiz. Usually they're 10 questions, multiple choice, they're 10 points each, which is not a whole lot of points, but they do add up. So it's very important that you do them. And like I said, you can take notes during the lectures, and then you can use your notes for those online quizzes. The third part is the activities and labs. I call them labs, but they're not always labs. Sometimes, like I said, I'm going to be giving you the data, you're going to be analyzing and explaining it to me. But these are worth more points. They're 20 points because they involve some more work. And usually what I like from them is that you've learned some information in the lecture videos and took some notes, and now you're going to do a lab and you're going to apply that new knowledge that you've learned. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at with the labs, is like seeing the application of the knowledge that you learned during the week. Then the fourth thing is discussions. It is important for you to interact with your classmates. I know that students don't love this part, but it's online and you're going to be grouped with two different people. Every week you're going to be in a group of 3 with different people, and that way you're going to be interacting with at least each person at least one time. All you have to do is you're going to read a prompt and you're just going to write a discussion about it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just getting you to think about and like put together everything that we learned during the week and like maybe apply it to your life depending on what the prompt is. And then you're going to respond to your other classmates like, I agree with you. Like, for example, you could say, I agree with what you said here, and I really like what you said here. I didn't really like what you said here, things like that. Okay, the last 2 things are the bigger assignments. So you have a research paper, which I would like you to start thinking about like right now. And throughout the 8 weeks, you're going to be doing some research on that topic and you're going to write it up. It is very important as a scientist that you can write academically. And we do put this through a ChatGPT tracker and a plagiarism tracker. If there is any suspicion that it has been AI generated or plagiarized, then I'm probably just going to give you a 0, or I'm just going to ask you to rewrite it. And then the last is the final exam. That's on the very last week. That's going to be available to you to take, and it's going to cover all the material from the whole 8 weeks. And that is open note, so you can have your notes for that too. So here's the grade breakdown. And this is just showing you like the overall. So there's an introduction assignment, 20 points, online quizzes, labs, activities, discussions, research paper, final exam. Okay, and so I do the usual 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and below 59 is an F. And I do not assign grades. I just give you the grade that you earn. Okay, so so I can't give out any points, and so you need to earn them. And this is like a very clear outline of how you can earn the points. Okay, DSPS. That is a group on campus that helps anyone who has any type of learning disability that needs some support or accommodation. It is very important that you let me know right away if you have any accommodations that I can help you with, and I'm happy to do that. This could even be like, if you have test anxiety, or so you need extra time on the test, or you need to take the test in a quiet place, anything like that. So anything that gets in the way of you learning, DSPS is there to help, and I'm here to help. So just let me know what you need, and I got you. Okay, late work. So I do accept late work. So every week is due either Friday or Sunday of that week. And you can turn it in after that, but each day that is late, you lose 10% down to 50%. Okay, so each day you lose 10%. So like the first day, you can only get 90%. The next day, you can only get 80%. and then 70, 60, 50, and then it stops at 50%. And so I'm telling you this because it is still good to turn late work in. Like, let's say you have a crazy week, some, things come up, because that happens. It is still good for you to like catch up and get your late work in. Even though you only get 50%, it's still better than 0%, because the 0% is really going to drag your average down. And so 50% is still better than nothing. Okay, academic honesty. This is kind of a big deal because we are online and I'm not with you. And I just want to say up front that like cheating or having someone else do your work or having AI do your work is just really hurting you. It is very important, especially nowadays, that you practice using your own brain, because when you use things like AI, you're not practicing or training your brain to think by itself. And then like when it really counts, then you're not going to have that practice and you're not going to have those neural pathways to help you. So try your very best to do everything on your own. I do like interactions between students because that does help you learn when you're interacting with someone. So let's say you want to talk to your partner about one of these topics. I completely encourage that. Like, explain it to somebody else. That does help you learn. But when you just like Google a question instead of trying to think it up yourself, you're hurting yourself in the end. And so you should just get in the practice of, having integrity and practice using your brain. Okay. It's like a muscle. You need to use that muscle. Okay. The last thing is withdrawing from the class. The last day to withdraw this class without receiving a W is June 15th. And so what that means is that you can drop this class, and on your transcript, it won't even show that you had taken this class. And so it's not going to affect your GPA or anything like that. If you wait till after June 15th, you still can drop the class all the way up until June 2nd, but a W will show up on your transcript, which will show that you attempted to take the class, but then you couldn't finish it. And then if it's after July 2nd, then you cannot drop the class, and whatever grade you receive at the end is what you're going to get. So just keep those dates in mind, just in case you're struggling or if you're having a hard time juggling all the work. Make sure you drop it before it'll affect your GPA. Okay, and then the last part about the syllabus is the schedule. And so I've broken it down to each day. I have broken down each topic per day, and I highly recommend that you do that. Like, wake up in the morning, have 1 or 2 hours per day so that you can get the daily work done. And please do not put it off to the very last day, because it's too much. It's too much. So that's on you to manage your time. And that is like the one requirement that it takes to take an online class, is to have some kind of self-discipline and time management. Okay, so it was nice meeting you, and I'm here for you. Please let me know if you need any help, and I will definitely meet with you online, or we can email back and forth. And I hope you enjoy the class. Okay, bye.